So, you've successfully designed and constructed a building or piece of infrastructure using building information modelling. You've got your model formed of graphical and non-graphical information beautifully structured in a common data environment. The process went well, it felt much easier than before, and everyone's happy. The prevailing attitude at this point in our industry is that it's job done. Great work, walk away and get on with the next thing. But what happens to the BIM model? We need to look at two things here. Firstly, why it's important to hand an information model over to the end user, and secondly, how you can actually do that. The whole idea behind creating an information model in the first place is that it ultimately helps improve the performance of the built asset it relates to. If we can easily access the data about an asset and use that to make informed decisions about its efficient maintenance and optimal operation, then we will get more out of it over its life. When that happens across society, at a national and international level, we improve the overall quality of the built environment that we are all living our lives in. But that only works if project teams are clear on the information that end users require to operate their assets and spend the delivery phase working to collate it in a clearly structured way. It only works if the data is effectively handed over at the end of construction and treated with as much importance as the new asset itself. It only works if end users are actually able to rely on that data and are assured of its accuracy. If you fudge the data you hand over at the end, or move on to your next project without carefully passing your information model to its long-term custodian, then the whole point of you creating it is arguably pointless. So we know why it's important to hand the information model over to the end user, but how do you actually do that? Well, to an extent, it depends on the organisation you're working with. If they're a large multinational with an established FM team who are really up to speed on BIM, who gave you a clear EIR from the outset, then it's pretty likely this step's been thought about in advance. But for many end users, and indeed many project teams, transferring digital information in this way is a huge step. The key consideration is that everyone who needs to access the information can. In an ideal world, the project's information model would sit in one common data environment over its life, without the need for it to move at the end of the delivery phase. In reality, some form of transfer to the building operator's common data environment or digital facilities management system will be required. However, for many who have not yet adopted BIM to support asset management, or who don't procure buildings on a regular basis, this can prove difficult. An alternative is to continue to host the model in the delivery phase common data environment with licenses for the end user team. This can work well when using a browser-based CDE. It removes the software barrier for the end user and enables them to experience the benefits of a digital approach firsthand. Of course, usage protocols, costs and timescales all need to be considered with this approach. When providing an end user with an information model for the first time, it may be necessary to provide the more conventional 2D information alongside it to start with. This way, all parties have some familiarity and can test the benefits of a digital approach, building confidence before moving to it wholesale. If you're an end user or part of a project team that has some experience, good or bad, of handing over information models, comment below and let us know about it.